After weeks of waiting, she was finally going to hear from her great-grandma Nana, the wealthy one whose flawless diamond pendant she was supposed to inherit. So she settles in, ready after so many years, for this lovely reunion across the veil that might shed some light on what happened to the contentious family heirloom. Finally, she was going to get down to the bottom of it and put all her greedy cousins in their place. And then the very first thing the psychic tells her is,
"Sorry, hun, I don't do dead people."
Welcome to the Sensible Psychic, the podcast edition. I'm your proudly psychic host, Anthon St. Martin. Today's tap dancing elephant in the room is a long-standing debate. What's the difference between a psychic and a medium? Now, it's very likely you've heard the saying that all mediums are psychic, but not all psychics are mediums, right? But what does that really mean? And if this is true, then why do only some psychics turn out to be mediums and some not? How exactly are psychics and mediums metaphysically related, if at all? Are they distant relatives? Are they cousins? Are they siblings? Or are they twins? Now, the pop culture stereotypes, the ever-expanding list of labels concocted by social media influencers,
Hi guys, welcome to my channel.
and all the rehashed myths and misconceptions are not much help in figuring any of this out. Ask the average keyboard warrior or AI chat agent, and you're most likely to get another elaborate tap dance routine around the truth. And don't even bother with the standard dictionary definitions. They basically reduce psychics down to people who claim to have strange and unnatural powers, or who can foretell the future. In other words, we're talking tall, dark strangers winning lottery numbers or the departure date of your mother-in-law from this time-space reality. And mediums, they say, are simply people who talk to dead people. Period. So, not much depth of understanding or clarity there, not to mention all the celebrity medium TV shows that have definitely played a role in shaping the public perception that mediums are somehow more special or more gifted than psychics. People often think,
Well, if those mediums get their own TV shows, they must be more talented than the psychic who meddled in my love life last week.
but here's the thing. The real reason those shows typically feature mediums and not psychics is pretty simple. Psychic readings usually deal with very private and deeply personal and intimate and sometimes even controversial information. Not exactly the kind of stuff you want broadcast on global television. But mediumship, by its very nature, tends to be mostly about the past, about family history, and about channeled information that feels less invasive to people's current lives, and are often about things most people can relate to in their own family background. And of course, the occasional high drama, funny anecdotes, and intense emotional reactions make mediumship much more entertainment-friendly than a standard psychic reading. It simply works better for TV and on stage. We'll go deeper into the whole mediumship as entertainment phenomenon in a future episode, but suffice it to say for now, it has definitely contributed to the public perception that mediums are somehow more special than psychics. And that's simply not true. Once you understand what true psychic ability really is and how it actually works, you immediately realize this simple truth. Psychics and mediums are not just relatives or cousins. They're actually twins. Not identical twins, mind you, more like fraternal twins who share the same DNA but are slightly different. The only real difference between psychics and mediums is not in the nature or level of their ability or how they do it. It's simply about the type of information they perceive or channel, and based on research findings, also their personality or character in a sense, their openness or willingness. I guess one could say their natural comfort with moving into altered states of consciousness. Think of it like this. Two artists sitting side by side, both with the same set of brushes, paints, and canvases. One loves painting portraits, the other prefers still life. Neither is more talented or more gifted than the other. They're just drawn to different subject matter. Same tools, same talent, same process, different focus. In practical terms, this means psychics consciously perceive hidden or unconscious information about the living, people who are still in this world. Psychics can channel or read information about your past, present, and potential futures. Mediums, on the other hand, consciously perceive information connected to the non-physical, the unseen, or higher realms. Depending on their unique channeling process, their psychic perception preferences, and their spiritual beliefs or esoteric background, they channel or read information relating to your deceased loved ones, ancestors, spirit beings, guides, angels, or other higher or collective intelligences. In other words, those who are no longer alive in this world, or those who never have been in this world. Does this mean mediums are more advanced, gifted, or somehow superior? Absolutely not. Psychic channeling and mediumship channeling are equally valuable. They simply serve different functions depending on how people with psychic ability are wired through nature and nurture. A medium's makeup is simply a little different from that of a psychic. Not better. Think of psychic perception as connecting to an encrypted Wi-Fi network. People with psychic ability have a built-in antenna or decoder that allows them to detect and access this hidden network, which most people aren't even aware exists. But not everyone with this inner device connects to the same areas of the network. Psychics and mediums have slightly different system settings, so to speak. Psychics tend to connect to the living zone of the network, the part that carries information about everyday life, about the past, present, and future of people still alive in physical form. Mediums, on the other hand, connect to a different zone, the part of the network that carries archived information about the non-physical, the spiritual, the discarnate. It's like the difference between browsing the mainstream internet versus exploring the deep web. Same network, but different areas. One is about downloading currently live websites on the internet. The other is like browsing the Internet Archive, where the data of former websites that are no longer active are still being stored. And some of us are wired for both. We're bilingual, so to speak. Or better yet, we have dual citizenship. We move between zones of the network depending on the need or circumstances. And people like us are therefore known as psychic mediums, because we are able to move relatively freely between these two realms.
Wow!
And here's something important I've noticed in my own work. There's often a lot of confusion about these mediumship Wi-Fi settings. Not just among the public, but even among practicing psychics. I've worked with a few psychics over the years who describe themselves as just psychic. But then, every now and then, during a reading, they'll admit they suddenly get these mediumship type impressions. A deceased relative pops in and changes the entire reading. When that happens, what I usually find is that those psychics do have the necessary settings for mediumship built in. They just haven't recognized or fully embraced it yet. Sometimes they don't trust themselves. Sometimes they think, well, I could never do it like the celebrity mediums on TV. But remember, those shows are heavily edited. Only the hits make it to air. The public doesn't see the full reality of what goes on in mediumship. So while mediumship isn't for everyone, I believe there are many psychics who are actually psychic mediums and just don't know it yet. They lack clarity, confidence, or guidance. And that's part of the work I do, helping people uncover and harness that potential. So if this resonates with you, and you're someone who knows you're psychic, but you're uncertain about mediumship, or maybe you suspect you're psychic, but you're not sure, then my psychic development program is designed for you. It will help you better understand what these unique system settings are in mediums and how they work. Because once you understand that, you can focus your development much more intentionally with confidence and purpose. With that said, what does this key difference between psychics and mediums mean for the client, the seeker, the sitter? It means that when you book a reading, it helps to know what you're looking for and who you will be talking to. If you want guidance about romance or relationships, career or business, important personal decisions or life direction, you'd go to a reputable psychic. If you want to reconnect with loved ones who've passed or receive guidance from ancestors or higher intelligences, you'd go to a medium. And if you want the best of both worlds, well, that's where a psychic medium comes in. So that's it really. Psychics and mediums aren't in competition. They're not ranking higher or lower on some mystical ladder. Psychics weren't the scrappy orphans at the back of the line, while the snooty mediums got the special gifts.
Please, sir, I want some more.
They're just different expressions of the same ability, like two flavors of ice cream made from the same base recipe. And there you have it. Now you know everything. Until next time, dear seeker, believer, or secret skeptical stalker, stay sensible, stay centered, and stay proudly psychic.